Hey, Scott. First of all, what were you guys able to accomplish today in practice?
Well, we went over our game plan, the film session with a walkthrough, with an offensive script, some shots. I like the focus that we had. Some of our guys, this is their first time. The play-in tournament was outstanding because it took our level of attention to detail to another step, and now it's the next step. This is some of our guys' first time in the playoffs, but I like their focus. But we got a lot of things accomplished today. It was a good day. We're ready to go. We're ready to jump on a plane and get down to Philadelphia and play the way we've been playing. A lot of energy and focus and for one another.
And their defense ranks really highly, pretty much all the way across the board. What makes them so elite on that end of the floor?
Well, they got good defenders. They got a good size all the way across the floor. They got Embiid is as big as anybody that's protecting the paint, and their point guard is 6'10", so they got length. But like I said, their team is loaded with athletic guys with good length. So we know that we can fight against what they do well, and I'm confident that we can get stops and get out and run in transition. And we there's not a secret. We want to play with pace, and so they're a good defensive team, no question.
Ava?
Scott, how did Raul fit in personality-wise with all of the different characters you guys have this year? He seems like another quiet one, but what have you come to learn about him?
That the quiet ones are the ones that you worry about, because they got that sneaky competitive drive in them that that if you can get to them, and those you don't not so sure about it. And I think our guys realize that about how early on. He didn't say nothing. He took every practice as a serious commitment to making him part of the rotation early on. I mean, we signed him as a third point guard, and that says a lot about him. And it's kind of like mirrored and mimicked our season in general. He was definitely an out of nowhere guy. Came into our camp. I knew of him, obviously. He's had some good moments throughout his early career in a few different spots. But he has that real serious approach and that workman-like mentality. Just brings his lunch pail every day, and he puts in the time. And that's why the guys fell in love with him, because he just puts in the time. He doesn't say anything. He listens. He's coachable. He understands that he wants to get better and improve, so he doesn't have all the answers. But that's why, like I said, that's why the players and the coaching staff love what he brings to the team.
You kind of joke with us all the time about how many different teams you played for and everything like that. When you're going back to a team that traded you, didn't have space for you, whatever, how much extra kind of sauce does it give you when you go into a game, especially if it's a playoff game like this?
Yeah, there's no question. There's a little added. I mean, for the most part, the competitors, or don't matter who's in front of them, they realize that there's 29 teams that they don't like. That's what I love about Russell's mentality. He doesn't like 29 teams. He doesn't, and he's played on a couple of teams now, and the same thing with all his former teammates. But there's just a little bit. It's just different because you've been in their locker room. You know what they think. I know that's a different coaching staff, but he knows a lot of those guys. But I don't think it's going to change him. He's a competitor, and he competes, and he's serious, and he just has that, that just from that cloth of just, I'm coming out and doing my job, and which you kind of appreciate. He never asks for anything. He wants to earn everything he's gotten so far. And this season is no different from that mentality he's had in the past.
Zach.
Hey, Coach. What are your thoughts on Rui's primary matchup opponent, Tobias Harris?
Oh, he has a tough one. Guy's I don't know how he's not an all-star by now. He puts up all-star numbers every year. I know it's hard to get. There's only 12 of them, but he's right there. He's definitely a tough matchup for everybody, but we do a lot of switching, so everybody's going to have to be able to be locked into what their guy does well. And he scores the ball well and from a few different spots on the floor that we're well aware of. And we're going to try to make it uncomfortable as we possibly can with him. But he's one of those professional scorers. There's a handful of them in the league that has that size to be able to score down low with smaller matchups, score on the perimeter with bigger matchups. And you can put it on the floor. He's a pretty good driving to the right, pretty good step back going to his left. Doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but he's very capable of having big 3-point nights. But Rui understands. I think the thing that, last year it was like a development year for a lot of us. But really came back better, understanding the league and understanding the tendencies of the players that he's going to be playing in front of every night. So I think this is another step in his growth to be able to understand what those guys do. Now you see him potentially seven games in 2 weeks.
Any final questions for Coach? I think that's it then. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, Alex. I believe this is your first time in the playoffs, right?
It is.
Yeah. So you've been in the league since 2013, and you've made it here. What has it been like, playing in the play-in tournament and then getting ready for a first-round series?
It's crazy. It's my 8th year in the league, first time in the playoffs, and it's been a crazy experience. Like play-ins kind of felt like playoffs. Every possession counts. And you could feel the intensity was way higher than the regular season. And, but yeah, it's just probably the most exciting part of my career.
You say it's the most exciting part of your career. What's it like, I guess, having this opportunity, given where you were when the Wizards acquired you just a few months ago?
Yeah, when I came here, it was like probably at the bottom of the second worst team in the East, and then climbing all the way back and making an AC. Probably it was a lot of fun. We battled through, guys stuck together. It's been a lot of fun.
Ava.
Yeah, Alex, you guys obviously have a huge challenge coming up with Joel, but what can you do to kind of slow him down, especially with his size? Scott always says he likes how you match up physically and can kind of match that physicality with a lot of other centers.
We got a game plan. We got a few things that we're going to throw at him, but with great players, you just gotta make it tough for him. He gonna score. He gonna put up numbers. You just gotta make make him take more attempts. And just limit the easy ones.
And working with Robin and Daniel like you do, obviously in the rotation, how much, I guess, communication between you guys is going on in games? Like, is there any talk of like, this is working really well, or maybe, this is bothering me what he's doing, or are you guys just like trust what you see when you're watching the game?
But we're gonna not like on consistent basis, but like if we see someone, we obviously say, they play and drop on a pick and roll. You can do, just kind of little adjustments. And offensively, when sometimes like hold the screen on Brett, they're playing him, all the way up on him, just little things like that. But other than that, we just know our role and just trying to play within our role. It's pretty easy.
Any other questions for Alex? I think that's it then. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Hey, first of all, how are you feeling with the hamstring injury?
I feel good. I mean, once I'm out there playing, I don't think about it. So I'm glad I got better in time for the play-in and playoffs.
And you're facing the Sixers, who you know a little something about. What can you take from the experience of playing with those guys and on that team into this series?
I think just knowing personnel, every little detail. You know, I played with most of them last year. Of course, they're a different team this year. They have a new coach. They play a different way, but I think the personnel stays the same. And I know every one of them, how they play, how they're mentally, how they approach the game. So I think I'm gonna try to use that during that series and trying to help my teammates if they don't if they need to know something else. But I mean, we all study, we all watch film, and we all know what they do. So I think it's gonna be fun to play against them.
Ava?
Raul, do you know how many different injuries you've played through this year? I feel like you've been on the injury report so many times as like questionable with like you got the rib, you got the hamstring. Have you kept like a tally in your head?
Not really. I think now that you're saying, I look back and there was a lot, but I just take day by day. I think us as athletes, we always going through little pain here, over there, and you gotta just fight through it and know if your body's gonna be able to handle, know if you're good to play or not. And but I honestly just take day by day, trying to deal with those small injuries. I think mostly it's because the way I play, you know, I'm always throwing my body out there and just playing as hard as I can, and those things are gonna happen. So I don't keep track of it. I just try to go day by day.
And you've been really consistent this year, considering all of the ups and downs and everything like that. One of the more consistent guys. What's been kind of your key to staying even keeled this weird season?
I think it's a mental game. You know, you gotta be ready to play every day. You gotta bounce back from bad games. You can never be too high or too low with the great games or with the bad games. You have to stay consistent mentally and just let your work talk to yourself. I think every time I go out there, I just leave it everything, play as hard as I can, and try to help the team. And like I say, I had bad games, I had great games, I had regular games, but I think it's just every time we step on the court, just like the same way I say about my injuries, just taking day by day and trying to do your best every time you step on the court.
Chase?
Specific to your scoring, you've had a career year, not only in terms of the points scored, but also the percentages you shot. What do you think led to that happening?
Work, confidence. I think being able to go out there and take those shots, things that in the past I wouldn't, like some shots I wouldn't take in the past, and I have the confidence and I have the trust from my teammates and coaching staff to do it, and just putting on the work, being confident, being true to myself, and taking the shots I got to take. And I think it's just the work that I put on paying off.
And when you played your first postseason games in your career, did you notice a big difference after you played, maybe one or two of them in terms of your comfort level? Because Coach Brooks was talking about how, the younger players, the play-in tournament, is probably a big difference in how they feel out there.
Yeah, I think the intensity changes. The post season, the playoffs is where everybody want to be. That's where you give you a chance on winning a championship, and you play so many games against the same team, so you kind of have to adjust every game. If you have one good game, they're gonna try to take away whatever you did good. So it's a lot of I think it's a more mental game, you know, knowing that you're going to play the same team at least 4 times, and they are doing the same thing that we're doing here. We watch film, we study, we put all the time into knowing what we got to do on the court, and the intensity is it's more. You know, it's the playoffs. I think you see it as when you're watching, you feel when you're playing, and I think that's just how we gotta take that playoff series. You know, go out there, play hard, and keep it simple like we're doing until now.
I think that's it. Thank you, Raul.
Thank you.